Good evening, everyone, or good morning, wherever you may be watching, at whatever time you may be watching us. And welcome to Conversations. And today we have another lovely friend of mine who will be sharing a life story with us. And I always say this program is one that we get to rub minds and people get to express themselves and tell us their life journey and what they have learned so that we can all learn from that. So today with me, welcome my dear friend Kemi. We knew her as Kemi Dada in command, right? So
Yes,
anyway,
yes.
I will leave Kemi to introduce herself properly.
All right. Thanks for inviting me. And let's see. So I'm Kemi Dada, um, Dragon House, and we met in school in command, and it's been a journey after that to Unilag, and then now we're both in the States. I live in Minnesota, and I've been in the States 24 years now. My background is in business. I have a master's in business administration, and I worked corporate America. I remember coming into the US, and the first thing everyone talked to me about was nursing. Like, oh, you have to be a nurse, you have to do this, you have to do that. The only way you can, make ends meet in the US is if you're in the medical field. And I was never a science student. You both know that I was never a science. I was more of an art student, and I did not want to go into something I was going to fail. I wanted to go into something that I would have passion for, and also like think like even if it doesn't work, would there be a plan B? So for nursing, if it doesn't work, you lose your license, and then all that. So I chose to go into business. I chose to go into human resources, and worked in corporate America, like I said, for a few years before I started thinking about, weddings and events and having my own business. So I was still working and doing that on the side. And what got me to,
Sorry, if I may come in, because I know after command, you went to Unilag.
yes, I
I know,
did.
yes, you were in Unilag with me. I can remember you were in Unilag. So you
Yes.
did business admin,
I did philosophy in Unilag.
you did philosophy in Unilag.
Unilag.
So you came over here to get your MBA,
Yes.
right? Your
And
master's.
my master's, yes.
Okay, your
But
master's.
so after Unilag, I once I came into the States, I did another like a human resource certification before I now
Did your
got my
master's.
MBA from Bethel University.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to know the journey because someone hearing you, but because I thought that maybe you came here for another degree, but I know that you actually came in here for masters. You actually did your
Yes.
masters here. Okay,
Hmm.
yes. So
Correct.
let's take it from there. So you did so you worked for a few years.
I worked for a few years. I worked for a company called Cummins Power Generation for a long time. I was in Cummins for 11 years.
Yeah, I can remember Cummins because you wanted to come into Nigeria to dedicate to I mean maybe it's
Cummins is actually in Nigeria.
yeah, I know you
Cummins
wanted
is
to
in
come in
Nigeria.
for a program, no, for something.
No, I used to
Less
come and
privileged.
train. I used to come to Ijara to train the sales people because I was part of the sales force, like which was the IT program for
Okay.
Cummins. So I used to come to once when we opened in Nigeria. I was part of the team that was always coming in, and it was easier for them to pick a Nigerian to come in because you're already used to the people, and just to come in and train the sales team on effective selling in Nigeria, because Cummins did not want to do work like Nigerians like to do work. They wanted to do it like it's not a Nigerian company, even though it's based in Nigeria. They wanted it to be more of a global. So we had to train the team to have that global mindset, and I'm not, if you remember me from command, I'm always the party type.
Of
Even
course.
Unilag, I'm always the party type. And growing up and watching my mom was also like that. I would always, like, once she's entertaining in the house, I was always the one. I was that child in, we family of, we have four, my siblings. I have three siblings, and I was that one person that would always tell them, no, let's do it this way, do it this way. So I've always had that, passion for just getting people together. And we started one of my roommates, actually, when I was in Maryland, when we were in school. She was getting married. And from the day she told us she picked our wedding date, I planned our whole wedding, um, from up going to pick up our outfit. I was always, every weekend we were shopping for one thing or the other. And this was just me, just doing it for
Yeah.
leisure. And the day of the wedding, I remember, and this was like 2000, yeah, 2000, I mean, 2000 or 2001, I can't remember.
Okay.
But this was like when we didn't know what wedding planners, nobody
Okay.
had, the event planning wasn't like
A
a
big
field
thing.
then, but people just kept on like, oh, who did this, who did, and she was, oh, Kemi did it. And I just, ever since then, anyone that's getting married will call me, and I'll just do it, my friends, until it now became something that was a profession for people. People started, making it into one. Then I started doing it part-time and still working full-time till, I just, something had to happen. There's always that thing that gets you out of corporate world. If it's either a layoff, or, you just quit, or you
Get
just,
tired.
you get fired. I was in IT, and this was when, the economic, it was really down. And usually when there's anything in the US, the first teams that get laid off are always IT, because that's the program we really don't, they will feel, well, we don't need this program at this time. So I was in Salesforce, Salesforce.com. I'm not sure if you know what, so it's a CRM. And I was the product manager for PowerCom, which is a Salesforce tool. So of course, PowerCom was, like, you guys already, you've given us the tool. We now know how to use the tool. So everyone in PowerCom, why are you maintaining the tool? So we all got laid off. And of course, Cummins gave me a compensation for that. And they paid me for a year. And I thought, all right, so throughout that thing, it's not me sitting down at home looking for another job, which I could. I thought, okay, the money I'm getting paid bi-weekly to sit at home, why don't I start doing something that I love? So I decided to go into event planning. I make it full time, and then I enrolled in the California program, because that's one of the top ones in America. And one thing about business is, for you to make it in business, you have to invest in yourself. You have to always constantly invest in new programs. You have to constantly invest in new tools, invest in what's going on out there. So I chose to, I could have done it like, oh, I don't need to go to school for it. I already know
But you're
what
already
to do.
doing it. Yeah.
Yes, already, but I wanted to, there were a lot of things I learned, while in school, that I wouldn't have, like, how to draw a timeline. There's no way I could have learned that on my own. Or, yeah, Google can be your friend, but there are some things that you also need to be, Google will show you what to do, but if you don't have that knowledge of it, there's no way you can, so I got my certification, and that also kind of just putting it on my resume when because I show my resume to clients as well. So you can't just book me, or, call me and say, "Oh, you want, I need to show you what I've done. I need to build that trust. Like, you need to trust me with you're
And the
trusting me with
confidence.
money.
Yeah.
So
The
let me show
confidence.
you what, all what I've learned, for me to be able to manage your money well." So I went to school for that, and I also registered my business. And because
Okay.
registration is also key when you're owning a business, you need to be certified. You need to, you just need to work things by the books. And, so I registered my business in the state of Minnesota. And, ever since then, I've made it my full time. I do this full time, and
Yeah.
don't
Okay. So
regret
now,
it.
yeah. So you got your master's, and then you started working, and
Yes.
you had a desire to go into business for whatever reason. I mean, you had to leave the job, and then you started thinking of getting another job, which would have been anybody's. Because why I'm saying that, because when I came into the US, most of the people I met, most of our friends, I everybody was working, paid jobs. Everybody was in a paid job, And I came out discussing with someone. I said, "You guys do business? I mean, how come everybody is just talking about 9 to 5, 9 to 5? How come nobody is doing anything apart from business?" You understand? So because now I'm asking that because it's more convenient for you to actually work. I mean, get a job somewhere and just start working instead of trying to create your own business. So can you tell me, is there anything in particular, that caused or that drove you to that point, or that caused you to have that kind of decision?
Okay. What I can say is, and then like you said, yes, that 9 to 5 is very comfortable for us. We like being in our comfort zone, especially here in the US. I don't know about any other country, but we like that. At least every 2 weeks, I get a paycheck. And then one thing we don't realize is we are replaceable, especially with a lot of tools coming in, a lot of systems. We're being replaced by machines. In the IT field, I know we're being replaced by machines. We're being replaced by Indians. Why would they pay me a 6-figure salary when they can pay someone in India 50,000, and that's a lot of money for the person?
Yeah.
So I thought, I could definitely find another job. I could go into consulting, which I also have to do to keep my certification. So I still do consulting, to keep my PMP. I still do that a year just to, to be in the books.
Okay.
So I could always be able for 11 years at Cummins. I was getting the money, I was getting the bonuses, I was, flying business class around the world, and I felt in my comfort zone. But the day they were going to replace me, they didn't think about my hard work. They didn't think about how useful I was to them, especially with the Nigerian team. But I got replaced because they were trying to cut budget. So, and that was, I think that was my push. Sometimes God will push you out of your comfort zone and make you uncomfortable because he wants you to move higher than where you probably think we've arrived. But God is telling us that, hey, if only you know where I'm taking you to, this place you are sitting down, okay, maybe if I push you out of it, then you start thinking outside the box. You start thinking beyond, our mind, because we just have this way of thinking that, and God is just looking at us smiling like, if only you know the plans I have for you.
There's something bigger.
There's something bigger. And then I remember I have a big sister, I don't know if you, Diolu's older sister.
Yeah.
She lives in Minnesota. She's also my big sister, Dr. Pero.
Okay, I see pictures of her with you. Yeah. I see your pictures with her.
Yes. So the day the day Cummins let me go, and that night I called her and I was like crying, and then she was like, you should go and be starting your company right away. You better so I thought she was going to be like, oh, come over, come and have dinner. Okay, let me give you a hug. But she was just like, what's wrong with you? You should have left that place long ago. But yes, and 2 people told me that night. Dr. Who is my big sister, and then another friend of mine, they were like, if only we've been wanting you to do this thing for a long time. Now it's about time you start, doing your own thing. And, so I guess we get used to things and God pushes us. And like I said, I could have found another job, and I still do. I still consult because I have to keep my certification. I still have to do my 40 hours. But I like waking up every day. Like now that my kids are homeschooling, I can sit with them and make sure they're doing their work. I set my own time. I set my hours. I can travel if I want to. And, I can do a lot of things, but I also am disciplined now. I don't wake up at noon thinking it's my business. No, I still wake up every morning like I would if I was going to work. I still take a shower, I dress up and go on my computer and start working.
That's interesting. I needed to rewind that because, sometimes people think because they're doing their own jobs, because it's their own business, some people don't give as much, what would I call it? I think it's my own, I have my time, so I can do what I want to do. But you just said something like you still have to be disciplined.
Yes.
And I think with business, with owning your own business, you have to actually be more disciplined That's where I see it. Because
Exactly.
now there's nobody chasing you,
No.
but there's
And
something else chasing you. Success is chasing you.
exactly, exactly. And also, it's a field where there's so many event planners around. It's like the new thing. Everybody's a wedding planner, everybody's an event planner. So what makes me different from the other ones? What makes me, why should you pick me over 20 other Minnesota event planners? That is what makes me wake up every day and go on my computer. And the first thing I do is when I'm working with my clients and everything, I also go to other so let me back down. So when I started, apart from taking that certification, I also started looking for mentors, the big names out there. And I when I call them or when I send some respond, some don't,
Yeah.
some back then. But I would not call you and say, oh, hey, by the way, I'm this, I'm doing this. I offer them lunch, I offer them coffee, I offer them, at least I'm offering to give this to you for you to give me your knowledge.
Hmm.
So I started looking for, mentorship
Mentors.
out there, and I started learning from them. And then there were some that I'll be like, if you have a wedding, can you just invite me? I will do it for you free. I'll be your coordinator free, just for me to watch what they were doing.
Wow.
And yeah, so that was also another thing I did that I think helps businesses is look at the success out there, look at what they're doing, don't look for free. And we're used to that as Nigerians. Unfortunately, we always want the free, free, free. It never works well in business if you're looking for free all the time. You need to invest, you need to pay, you need to be able to show the person that you want to shadow that I mean, I want to be like you. I want to do what you're doing. And also, like give them your time, they're giving you their time, give them your own time as well. So I would tell them, there's one she's a white lady, she's here in Minnesota. Like when she has anything she's doing, I would go just to be a coordinator for the day. And I don't get paid. I would tell her I'm going to intern for you free. But then I started learning. I was looking at the things, I was looking at how she was, you know,
I mean,
interacting
that's
with
the
our
best way to
clients.
learn. That's just the best way to learn.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about to, and then that has helped me a lot with
Wow.
with my event planning business.
Wow. Wow. So Kemi, so what do you do? What do you do for leisure? Because I mean, if you sound like everything you do is just work, you know,
Well,
and
that's leisure for me too, though. Even though it's work, but I have fun doing the work.
yeah,
So like,
but it's not every day that there are weddings.
what did you say?
Weddings are not every day.
They're not every day, but so I have weddings for even like I have one November next. I'm already working on. So they're not every day, but then you still work on it every day because you're
All right.
okay. So for leisure, what do I like? I style my brides as well. So I just going to the mall, just going with them, wedding shopping and all that. So that's leisure for me. We I
That is
that's
so. It's like you're being paid to enjoy yourself.
I'm being paid to enjoy myself. Like I was telling you about the shutdown. So yesterday, we had this photo shoot with my bride. It's always fun for me. I'm always like, like creating something out of it. So
Wow.
the kind of work, the kind of profession I do now is leisure. Because when you attend an event, you're having fun there, right? Even though I'm
Yeah.
the one working the event, but you probably will see me at the back dancing when the band is. So it's always fun. So I went into a field where I could work and be leisure at the same time. So that way you don't get bored with what you're doing.
Okay. So apart from that, is there any other thing you do?
So like I told, I style my brides. So I do for my event planning. The only thing I don't do is decoration because so once in business, don't be jack of all trades.
Mm-mm.
I would never. So once a bride comes to me and books me, the first thing I tell them is I don't decorate. And then why I don't decorate is, yeah, I could get that decoration money. I could hire a team
Yeah.
and do that. But I always want to be in charge of everything I do. And on the wedding day, I want to be with the bride from start to finish, because that's where I get my next clients. In the morning when I'm dirty, trying to tie her shoes, trying to, calm her, because brides are always nervous on
Nervous.
their way. Trying to calm, trying to work with a lot of vendors. But if I'm at the hall decorating, then I can't get that moment. I can't see, the bridesmaids can't see me get all dirty on the floor, walking and doing a lot of things that, a lot of wedding planners don't do, but
They
then
don't do. I'm
that
going to
do it,
ask you. Yeah.
we
I'm going to
that do
ask you
it,
that.
we get clients from, from the morning. And a lot of my clients are referrals from my past brides. A lot of my clients are bridesmaids. A lot of my clients are family members that see me do all this, behind the scene work. So
Yeah.
that's why I don't do decoration. And I consult that out to someone else so that I can get more clients by doing the work that a lot of people don't like to do. But in the evenings, when the reception, I'm all changed, I'm all glammed up, and they don't like, are you the same person we saw in the morning? Like, oh, yeah. So, but then that's when I get my clients, in the morning when I'm doing that family time with the bride. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Well, I didn't
so
know
that's,
event planners could do that. I mean, that's actually a plus
oh,
that you could be after. I
oh, I
mean, you're
wake up
looking
in the
after them.
morning. I do. So from 6 in the morning, and sometimes if it's I do a lot of out of state as well. I'll book the room next to the bride,
Oh,
and I get there in the morning. From when she wakes up, even dressing her up, our showers and everything. I am very, my clients, like, so my brides. Once I start talking to them on the phone, I always want to make sure I'm probably talking all over the place, because when you're passionate about what you do, you kind of like, maybe I'm not answering your questions, but I hope the viewers and those that are watching on, kind of understand what I'm talking about.
yeah.
So once I get a client, once we do, I send you if you call, you find me on Instagram, you refer, I send you a form. Once you fill the form, then we have a first, initial 15 minutes. That first 15 minutes, I already know if I want you or not. It's not pride, it's not like, I want to lose money. But that 15-minute conversation already tells me how our relationship is going to be.
Wow.
Because my brides, bride weddings that I did 5 years ago, I still have lunch with them till now. I always do this, monthly thing, just check up on, just because. So if I can get that first initial 15 minutes, and I've declined a few people, I'll tell them, oh, I'm booked that day, because it's going to be a challenge for me, and I never want my work to be a challenge.
Wow.
Once we do that 15 minutes and we talk, then the next consultation is an hour. And we just, so I already have a personal relationship with them throughout the planning process. So the morning of the wedding, me being in the bathroom when you're taking your shower and just making sure, oh, here's your soap, here is this, because I already have this
A rapport.
big sister or mom role with them.
Yeah.
It makes things easy for me. And then I don't cut corners. If you have 10 bridesmaids, and you tell me you have one makeup artist, I'll tell you there's no way I'm going to allow you to have one makeup artist for 10 bridesmaids, because we're already going to be late. I don't do the African time. We're already going to be late for the ceremony. So if you have 10 bridesmaids, we're having 4 makeup artists, because 1 hour, it takes an hour for a makeup artist. So all this is the school and the learning, and that taking, like, keep constant learning. You're already learning all these things from them. They shadow me, just like how I did for, so I allowed that, because I've been fed. So now I need to feed people. So they shadow me, they do all that. I don't pay them. And then I kind of train them on the job. So that also helps me,
So that helps.
with cost.
Okay. So has there been any incident in life that has, that has brought about this Kemi? all remember, what most people remember is the Kemi of command, or Kemi, you're just a young lady. So this Kemi that we have now, has there been any event or any circumstance, any situation, any word of wisdom, maybe you came in contact with, someone, maybe my mother's side, or things like that,
Hmm.
that helped to
That's
shape you?
I really don't know what you're talking about. So I'm still the same, I guess. I've just grown older and wiser, I guess. And I'm still the same, to be honest. I'm still friendly. It's just I'm just wiser and older. The things we did growing up. Like I see my daughter like these days also being sassy and everything. I'll be like, been there, done that. Once you understand, and then she now looks at me like, what is she talking about? But I know I used to react to my mom, and unfortunately my daughter does that now. And I'll be like, well, is that growing up phase? And I guess it gets to a point, and I think you know, my my parents releasing us at a young age to come over here. Like I came here when I was 24, and it's you know, America. They always say, "Oh, America is the land of milk," and America is this, America is that. But America can also build you. America can teach you a lesson as well. So I've seen people come here and failed. I've seen people come here and do very well. Majority of, even looking at my friends, even like some of them, I'm sure some of when we're in command, you probably be like, this one is going to be a failure for the rest of their lives. And they are the most successful ones now. And the ones that probably they were let go at a young age. So when I came here, I had to do a lot. I had to, you know, it was either I just had to do something. And what I had to do was learn. So I had to start learning all over again. All what I was taught in command, built me. Unilag was, and then once you get that second chance, you cannot misuse it. You just need to do things right. You need to, start building. And if your parents have invested in you, it's now time to start investing in yourself.
Yeah.
And I had that one chance, and I knew how to do things right. And I started building myself all over again. And have I done everything I think I should? Did I think I've reached where? No, I know I still have. I still learn.
Yeah.
Yesterday, someone was telling me about another certification I need to take. So I still, right, and especially with the COVID. Okay, so this year alone for businesses, a lot of us have been hurting. So it's either you sit and wait the COVID, or you think outside the box, think outside the norm, and do things differently.
Yeah.
And still succeed. So this year we were sitting at home. A lot of my events were canceled for this year. We postponed to next year, that we don't even know what's going to happen next year. But did I sit and watch Netflix like that? Because throughout this, everyone was on Netflix and chill. No, I was not. I was more on a lot of free. We had a lot this year. There were a lot of schools that were giving free certification.
Yeah.
Harvard even had a data analytic 9 months program that was free. So instead of me Netflixing and chilling, I decided, okay, maybe I should start, looking at other things as well. And, how do we start working as businesses going forward? Because COVID is here to stay, if anyone likes it or not. And I decided, how do I still get events? How do I still get weddings? So I was doing more of, micro weddings. They were smaller. It wouldn't give you the as much money as you want, but you were still making.
You were still on track.
You were still working. We were still working.
Good.
And I also do Nigerian events as well. So I concentrated a few of my resources in Nigeria. Am I in Nigeria right now? No, but I still have my team working on weddings. So that was just the little things I had to like work around this year. And that's one thing about businesses that differs from 9 to 5. 9 to 5, you can sit and you still get paid.
Yeah.
As a business owner, you need to constantly, don't just relax and feel I've arrived and that's it. What I've what I've done as a um, event plan. I don't.
That's,
I do most mainly weddings, but I still call myself event planner, even though it's my main ones are weddings. But I still do
yeah.
birthdays. I do funerals, maybe older. I never do funerals. So, I mean, there's some that they don't care what they do as long as they're getting paid. But
Yeah.
um, I'm picky about, you
What
know,
you do.
what should I do, and then also with my faith, like I've gotten, same sex. Will I do that? Unfortunately, not at this time. I mean, it's money because it's like the in thing in America right now. But um would I be a
Just
planner
don't feel
for?
comfortable doing it.
I'm not comfortable doing that. So I've always turned those down. Will I, will I think about it and see if I want to do it someday? Maybe, but just
Maybe.
not now. I just don't take everything because it's money. I have to
Interesting.
be, I have to be comfortable. I don't want you to go talk bad about my business because I failed you as a wedding planner. So I
Yeah.
am always careful about who who I decide on.
Wonderful. Yeah. So Kemi, I've learned a lot from you right now, talking to you.
Really? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
glad you.
Yeah. One of the things that stands out really is, you know, being able to stand up and go from wherever. I mean, this is where you are right now. I mean, this is something that's happened. You have probably left your job, and then you have moved on, and you have made something out of it. And then one of the things you did was you went back to school for this. I mean, not like I just want to do. No, people just say I just want to start a business, and they don't even know if it's something that you want to be involved with or you want to handle it by yourself. Then you need to get the education you need,
Yeah.
and that's what you have
Mhm.
done. And then the part that trips me the most is the part that you actually had to shadow people, mentoring. You have to look out for people that are successful in this field. It's like
Mhm.
you have this how big I want to be, and you went out, with people like that too, and that's wonderful. And you also the fact that you tried to look for something that was different. You added value to your own wedding planning. Was not just about, oh, who put that chair there, you
No, I
actually
don't
are
do that.
involved with the people, and that's
Yeah.
a plus. That's a plus. And so I've learned that. I've learned a lot from you, and I believe that anyone watching this also will pick up one or two things and run with it. So, don't find out what from you, Kemi. What would you like to leave us with?
Okay. One more thing I would like to talk about is and this is particular to a lot of businesses that do the same thing. So one thing I do, and a lot of us now do, is we collaborate instead of compete. Never compete with anybody else. Instead, collaborate with them.
Mm,
I mean, there are days that you need them more than they need you.
definitely.
So we have a lot of event planners here in the US, even in Nigeria. But do we compete lately? In the past, maybe, but do we compete now? Maybe some still do, but a lot of us, what we do is collaborate. What we
Mm,
do is collaborate. And then another thing is challenge. Um, we're a minority, especially here. I'm in Minnesota, where um, one of them. So during the Black Lives Matter, you know that George Floyd was in my city, Minneapolis. I took advantage of that, and I challenged Main Minnesota magazine, and on why they don't feature Black couples.
mhm.
So I look at things that are happening around you and take advantage of that for your business, but don't do it alone. Try to work with other people in your field so that you can, so don't just want to eat at the table alone. Try and get more people. So during that Minnesota Bride Challenge, we did a photo shoot. I brought in other wedding planners in Minnesota that are Black minority owned, and now a lot of us. So I mean, just from that alone, A lot of us are being recognized now by
Wow.
the whites in our areas, just because we looked at the opportunity. I looked at the opportunity. I'd always reached out to them in the past. So it's a time they even blocked me on Instagram, Minnesota Bride, and I challenged them when they put a post of Black Lives Matter. And I went to under their post and I was like, don't even ever. And I started sending screenshots. Was that trying to create a scandal at that time? Maybe, but I wanted it to be to our advantage as Blacks at that
Yeah.
time, because this was a time that we needed to speak up. So people were speaking up, and I also thought it was time we speak up as Black event planners as well. And I brought out screenshots of all my conversations with them in the past, where they thought, biracial, like, oh, but we featured a white man and a Black, no, those kind of things.
Oh,
So
great.
collaboration, never compete, never compete. Don't think, oh, because the shop next door we sell the same things, so I should be in competition with them. Oh, so if they're selling at $5, maybe I should sell at $4. No, no, never do that. Instead, think about what both of you can do together. And that way, that is the key to success in a business.
And it's
That
so
is
interesting. Thank you so much for that. Because, it's a group of, let's look at the command group, for example, for a command 88 group, you know. We have people that are doing about the same, some people are doing the same thing. There are people, some of our friends doing the same things. So, and one thing for me, I found out, and maybe that's one of the reasons why this program is on, is when I don't know, or when I see that somebody knows something and I don't know, I seek wisdom. It's better to seek wisdom than to die in shame.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And as I'm really, this program that you're doing, we're learning a lot. You've sent us 3 videos now that you've interviewed, and I've learned from every one of them. And yeah, a lot of us are in the same field. I've seen, especially the retailers, the ones that are selling clothes and real estate or anything. A lot of us are in the same field, and I think if we stop thinking about that person as your competition, but thinking about that person as your co-partner in business, your co-owner, even though they're 2 separate businesses, but let's think about it as being we're co-owners of the business, then I guess we'll move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you might have something that I don't have. You might have, you have this, because you're doing personal shopping now. I do the same thing as well for Nigeria. You might be shipping at this time, and I just have one outfit I need to ship. Why can't I send it to you and be like, hey, Moji, please, can you just ship this out for me? Why should I think, oh, Moji is a personal shopper? No, I shouldn't. She shouldn't know I do this. I don't want her to take my client. No.
Just like
Never look at it as the person taking your client.
Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you, because I know one of those days you just sent me different, shippers. You said if you need shippers in this, and I was like, I didn't even ask Kemi, but you see that is just the right spirit. That is just the right spirit. I didn't have to ask you, oh, Kemi, whatever. And then the other day you said, oh, Muji, you can do this about your Instagram page and all of that. These are things that, and that is why we have this. So that even if I don't know Kemi does this and I now hear, so when you watch it, it's not about somebody just trying to show off what they do, but that is your idea. We can collaborate.
Yes, yes.
We can strengthen ourselves.
That's the only way, because for me, I don't want to shine alone. Yeah, maybe in the past, like you said, when you said what's different from the Kemi in command and the Kemi now is, I don't want to eat alone. I don't. Maybe it's the mentality we now have here. Maybe if I was in Nigeria, maybe I'll be thinking differently, because sometimes when I go to Nigeria and I see even my family members doing things the way they do, treating their staffs like as if their staffs are nobody. Maybe it's the mentality, but I don't want to eat alone. I don't want to eat alone, honestly. It's not like as if I have the money now, or you and I, we share personal things together, like, on WhatsApp. But, just knowing the other person is okay, that satisfaction, just knowing the other person is okay.
Fantastic.
And that's why I think this business opportunities, building ourselves up, And like I have a friend that went to didn't go to command with us, but I met through Sonja Lawal, who went to command with us, right? And he went to another school and went to OSU. So Joe also went to OSU, them lawyers. And there was a day I was, they have their own WhatsApp group, like OSU lawyers and everything. And he was telling me about, oh, how this person used to like always asking them for money. And then they all decided, why are we giving the person money? Okay, this person cooks a lot. Remember, she used to cook for us when we were in OSU. Why don't we open up a Amala joint for her in Ikeja?
Wow.
And they all decided, they put money together and opened up a joint for her. And he told me, he said, when they're asking for money right now, she's among our highest contributors because we, invested in, instead of us giving her, oh, take 5,000 naira today, take 20, we decided, let's open an Amala joint for her. They're lawyers, some of them are no longer in Nigeria, so they can afford to open it for her. But they can also afford to sending her money every day so that they can feel like, oh, yeah, I've arrived. But they chose not to.
That is welfare. That is real welfare.
They decided to open up a joint for her.
Yeah.
Sonja knows opened up a joint for her, and now she's one of the highest contributors. The lawyers, she's a lawyer, but then it's not every lawyer that is successful in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So now she sells food. They opened up a joint, not even restaurant, a buka canteen, and she's doing very well. And so, like, when you move with people like this, and that's why rubbing minds with people,
it's so important.
It's so important.
It is.
Just sharing, like, what do you guys do? Yeah, we didn't go to school, but we didn't, what it's not about, oh, I'm being nosy about what you guys are doing, but what are you guys doing in your teams? What do you guys do in your school group that you guys are doing so well? I did that to one of my friends that I went to Shagamu, because Shagamu too, they're doing so well. I was like, what are you guys, why are you guys so different? When they did their 30 Shagamu girls, I was like, wow, they did this for the school. I was like, where are you guys getting all this money from? But then when you now start, like, they're investing in each other. They're not competing. They're investing in each other. Collaboration. It is so important.
They become a force.
Yes. Yes, it is so important. Yeah. And Yemi does that a lot with us, which I really, really appreciate Yemi. Yeah. Like, I appreciate Yemi for, like, I don't joke with Yemi any day. I don't joke with Yemi because he has that mindset. And once we start all, looking at that, how to collaborate, not only with command students, but even here in, your neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's what differs with the Jews too, the Jewish people, the Chinese. Even look at, they're all Indians. When I was at Cummins, some of them don't speak good English, but they walk during lunch. You can see all of them in one conference room, picking and just teaching each other. Like, when you have a meeting with them, because they're the ones that do all, like, our background. So they just tell you that, oh, they'll get back to you later, because half of them don't know it, but then they want to go have their lunch breaks and with their other friends. And then, oh, so in the meeting today, this is what the project they give. And then they now all sit down together and work their projects together.
Wow.
So from Cummins, I learned those Indians, they would sit at lunch. You never see them with you. They will all sit together at lunch and start working on each other's project. Just start working on each other's, because a lot of them.
They're not afraid that this one will do better. This one
will
climb higher.
No. And once we start having that mind, if you look at successful businessmen, even here in Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, if you look at all of them, a lot of them are all about that collaboration. And not just thinking they know it all to themselves, or they want to keep that knowledge to themselves, or they want to keep the wealth to themselves.
Well, Kemi, I don't know. Oh boy, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for those words. Thank you for those genuine words, and I try to do a few things. I'm asking people, oh, you sell this? I can sell for you here. So I started selling somebody's soap here and selling, I'm just, because I'm like, as I said, we just have to strengthen ourselves. There's no point maybe in Nigeria or our parents' generation, as somebody was telling me, Nigeria, our parents' generation, they all had one friend that they used to say, come and eat, come and eat.
Yeah.
We can't afford
I
that
guess our
now.
parents liked our parents. Yeah, I
We
remember
shouldn't
that.
do that now.
Yeah, remember my mom too. I mean, I won't like
Every
they
parent
like
has
that
a friend.
coming, like you coming to eat. They just enjoy
Oh,
that
they,
our feed there, our land feed there. Yeah. But
that's
then
why, I know welfare is hearing this, and I know that's one of their vision for us. We don't know. It's like they say here, no child left behind, right? That's when they school something.
true. And if you look at our kids, I'm sure your kids are the same. Because when I look at mine, they don't they don't see things the way we see them.
Mm-mm.
Their mindset is so different from ours, and because ours is also different from our parents. Like sometimes I joke with my daughter, and I'll be like, you're going to marry a Nigerian, but it will be like in the blood of Jesus, like that kind of. Of course, I'm joking with her, but my daughter she doesn't even see. My daughter doesn't see.
I understand that. Yeah,
She doesn't understand, or she doesn't understand why. Even if
that's to
with
be
this,
a race
she doesn't understand why you're not giving the neighbor, or you're trying to quickly go into your garage so your neighbor doesn't see you because you don't want to say hi to them. They just don't understand those things like
we
that.
hide it. It says you hide it. You should cover your glory so nobody will see it. But
Yes.
glory cannot be covered, really.
So when I'm like, my neighbor is kind of my mom, my daughter will be like, Mom, he's waving. I'm like, I don't want him to see me because I don't want to talk to him. And they should be like, but why don't you want to talk? I mean, they just want to say hi, But then the day you talk to these people, you now realize that, man, you really need these people more than they need you
Nobody's
sometimes.
after you.
You need these people. Like there's one that works as a, she was one that was telling me that, oh, do you know, like in the community you can do this, oh, they can get this thing. They're doing that, I will give you all the resources and I'll be like, and I'm hiding from them. I don't want them to talk to me because I don't even want to be bothered. But then they now start giving you all these tips that you're like, oh, I wish I had spoken to you earlier. So like our parents gave us this, they built this thing in us, and now we're now thinking. There's something I asked my mom, why did you used to do all those? I used to think I was adopted. Why did you used to do all those things to us? She was like, mato ye, and then now look at my own kids, I'll be like, wow, thank God you kids are different from me. Your mindset is so different, and I'm glad that you are your own person. They all have their own personality, and allow them move with it. Allow them move with it. Which we just have to be like what our parents wanted us to be.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised how much they how much independent they become when you do that. And they grow faster. Yeah. Wow, Kemi, we could talk on and on.
Yes, I know, right? I know.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on your platform. It's been
an
honor to do that.
Yeah, okay. I'm grateful at the short notice. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks. All right. Hope you learned a thing or two. And I mean, actually, like I said, I'm learning from you. So please keep doing this.
Thank you.
Please keep doing this.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
More people on board. Let's hear from other people.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching this. I'm sure it's the longest we've had, but there's so much to learn. So kindly make sure you watch it to the end. And of course, if you are hearing this, that means you watch it to the end. Thank you so much. Thank you once again, Kemi. And so we have the next guest. Bye for now. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thanks. Someone that went to class with us, our classmate, comments